Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Koereyelle, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I believe you can make the money and you can get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And it's my goal to bring you the information and the conversations to help you do just that. Now, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget that brand new video episodes drop every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is an honor and a pleasure to be able to sit down with some of my favorite people, from boss babes to happy wives to some happy husbands, therapists, and everybody in between that can truly help you make the money and get the honey. So make sure you are also subscribed on YouTube at Koereyelle, just like you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast. Now, before we get into this week's solo sermon, I gotta remind y'all that I just released my third book. It's called Nobody is Coming to Save You, available now on Amazon. And not only is it available on Amazon, your girl became a #1 Amazon bestseller, #1 new release within 24 hours of our launch. And so me and 7 other amazing, inspirational powerhouse women got together to collaborate on this book project so that we could share with you some of our save yourself strategies, the things that we were able to do, the strategies that we put in place to pull ourselves up, discover our life's purpose, and really figure out how we could go after our goals and start living the life that we had been dreaming about. And so it's not just a book full of sad stories. They're definitely relatable stories, but there's also strategies inside to help you get your mind right so you can get your money up and really start living the life that you were created to live and doing the work that you are being called to do. Which brings me to this week's solo sermon topic, okay? This week, I gotta encourage you. I have to remind you that you are always going to be your best investment. And if you are not willing to bet on yourself, chances are you are constantly going to find yourself feeling frustrated, feeling unfulfilled, and asking God, what is it that you are truly calling me to do? What is it that I was created to do? So this show is actually inspired by Dennis Kimbro. Google him. Check him out on Amazon. Check out his books. You've probably heard of his book. It's called Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice. That's one of the books, probably the book that he's most famous for. He also has a book called The Wealth Choice, but he's a phenomenal speaker, a phenomenal financial expert. He teaches right here in Atlanta at Clark Atlanta University. Those students are like so blessed to have the opportunity to be in his presence. But I actually listened to him on a podcast episode, and one of the things that he said really stuck with me, and it actually inspired me to share with this message with you all this week. So his quote was, "Time is not running out. Your life is. It's not the time that's running out. It's your life that is running out." So once we are dead and gone, time is going to continue to go on. So it's not the time, it's not the minutes, it's not the days that are expiring, it's us. And so that really just like was a wake up call for me. Hopefully that sparks something inside of you that makes you ask yourself, like, what are you really doing with the little bit of life that you have left? Based on the average lifespan, we are given 30,000 days of life. Okay. And depending on how old you already are, depending on how close you are to that average lifespan ending, that kind of puts things into perspective and hopefully encourages you and inspires you to really start figuring out your life's purpose so that you can really make your days worthwhile and start doing the things that you were created to do. If you find yourself feeling frustrated, if you find yourself constantly asking like, what else is out there? Like, I know that there is something more that God is calling me to do. I know that there's something else out there that I have been created to do. I know there's some mission. I know there's some message. I know there is some God-given purpose that I need to pursue. Let this be a reminder. Let this be a wake-up call that while you are creating your New Year's resolutions, while you are clipping those magazine pictures out to create your vision boards and your dream boards and your goal boards, instead of just focusing on like the superficial things that we want, let's start focusing on some of the things that we truly desire that's going to get us closer to, again, what we're being called to do. Okay, and so this week, I want to first start by just reminding you that you are absolutely the designer of your destiny, okay? That nobody else outside of you has the power to dictate what it is that you do with your life. And so you cannot afford to allow anyone to discourage you, to share their doubts with you in such a way that those doubts start to rub off on you. It is truly up to you to make sure that no one is distracting you from dreaming or disturbing your spirit while you are on your mission to live out and fulfill God's vision. Okay? I know from personal experience, and I'm sure that y'all can relate, that one of my mentors likes to say, destruction follows intention. So it's like as soon as you set an intention, as soon as you decide that this is the thing that you're going to work towards, this is the thing that you are going to do, this is what you are going to dedicate your life to, all of the people start coming out of the woodworks, questioning your decisions, asking you, are you sure this is what you want to do? Well, this doesn't really make any sense to me. And you have to be so determined to design your own destiny that you do not allow those distractions or those doubts to fill up your mind in such a way that it stops your momentum. Okay? We got to keep that momentum going. So just know that destruction follows intention. As soon as you decide to do the thing, as soon as you set a specific intention for what it is that you're going to go after, people are going to find their way to you to try to distract you, to try to deter you from doing the things that you know that you are called to do. I truly believe that our purpose is chasing us. We think we're chasing our purpose, but most of the time our purpose is chasing us. We're just the ones that's continuing to run. Right? Because we want to chase after all the shiny object syndrome. We want all of the things that are distracting us, all of the glitz and the glam and the things that look good that are literally just keeping us from living out our life's purpose, really living out the things that we were destined to do. And so I want you to ask yourself, because before you can start betting on yourself, you have to increase your self-awareness. So I got a couple questions that I want you to ask yourself. Okay, write these down unless you're driving. Then you're going to have to come back to this episode. But the first thing I want you to ask yourself so that you can start to increase your self-awareness. Number one, what is it that you truly want? When was the last time that you really sat down, got quiet, got still, and got clarity around what it is that you are being called to do? Because one of the things that I know for sure, especially for women, is that a lot of the goals, the dreams, the things that we are going after are based on other people's opinions, whether it's your man, your mama, your bestie, the people who are inspiring you on Instagram. We are getting all of our ideas from people outside of ourselves because we never give ourselves enough quiet time to tune in and tap into what it is that we truly desire. We can come up with a laundry list of things we don't want to do, a laundry list of things we don't like. But then if somebody says, well, what is it that you truly want to spend your time doing? What is it that you truly enjoy? What are you passionate about? What are you driven to do? We start stuttering. We get confused because we don't know. And so the first thing that I want you to consider as you start to increase your self-awareness is, what do you truly want? Aside from what everybody around you wants, aside from the man your mama say is perfect for you, aside from the life your bestie is living, what is it that you truly desire? What's going to make your spirit smile? So that's the first question. What do you truly want? Now, once you figure out what you truly want, the next question is a little bit tougher. The next question I want you to consider is, what are you willing to give up to get to that goal, to achieve that thing that you say you want? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do? Because outside of us not knowing what we want, outside of us not truly believing that we are worthy of it, most of us are too lazy to put in the work to actually accomplish it. And when I say the work, I'm talking about the work with an E. And the work with an E is your effort and your energy that you dedicate to your own dreams outside of what you do for other people. That's the work with an O. So what work are you willing to do that's going to get you to your goals? So question 1, what is it that you truly want? Like, what is your goal? What is your intention? Question 2, what are you willing to do to get to it? What are you willing to give up? And last but not least, who are you willing to become to achieve it? Because it's not just about your to-do list, the things that you need to do. A lot of times we're lacking because we have not focused on our to-be list. Who do I need to become to be worthy of these things? Who do I need to become to get in alignment with this life that I want to live? Who do I need to become to get in alignment with my divine assignment? Because the person that you are right now today, like the things that you've done so far, the person who you are, your belief system or your limiting belief system has gotten you this far. It's gotten you to this place. What are you going to need to do? What are you going to need to give up? Who are you going to need to detach from? Okay, and who are you going to need to become in order to get to that destination? But first, you got to know where you're going, okay? So I'm going to assume that you do your homework, you answer your questions, you know where you're going, right? And now you got to be willing to bet on yourself. And y'all know the teacher in me, the easiest way that I like to break down a lesson is through an acronym. So I came up with a little quick acronym for the word BETS, okay? BETS. Our B, in order to truly bet on yourself, you have to believe that you are actually worthy of what you want. You got to believe it, because what you receive is based on what you believe. So I literally saw somebody who I follow on Instagram post the other day. I thought that you only get love and friendship from the same person. I thought that was just like a concept in the movies. So she was responding to a tweet. The tweet said, imagine that you find friendship and love in the same person. And then her response was, I thought that only happened in the movies. And so what does that tell me? That tells me that you have limiting beliefs around what it is that you deserve. Now, I've personally talked to this woman, so I know that she desires love. But it's not just about what you desire. It really comes back to what you feel like you deserve. Now, I believe we're all worthy of the things that we're dreaming about. I believe that the God that I serve isn't giving me, these grand visions of the life that I want to live if I can't actually have it. I believe that for myself. And part of the reason why I've been able to receive a lot of the things that I've set out to do and set out to have and set out to accomplish is because I actually believe that I can do them. And so we can't be like fake, phony spiritual beings or fake phony Christians or however your belief system is set up, whether you believe in God, spirit, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whatever higher power you subscribe to, you cannot on one hand say that this is the Almighty, right? I got so much faith. But then when it comes down to what you want for you, that faith is gone. You got to understand that spirit, that source, it lives inside of you. So the same God that was able to create, the same God that is able to perform miracles, why wouldn't he or she be willing to perform those miracles in your life if you got so much faith? How come faith goes out the window when it comes down to you believing in you? I don't believe God created us to live in a space of lack and limitation, but it comes down to what we believe. What you receive boils down to what you actually believe. So step 1, you gotta believe that you are worthy of what you want. Because if you don't believe you're worthy of having it, if you think that it's just some, far out thing that's never going to happen, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to do the work to make it happen because you think that you're working towards an impossible task. So you got to believe that you're actually worthy of what you want to receive. E, you have to be willing to enhance your skills and start taking action towards your goal. Now, I believe in manifestation more than the average person, okay? But I know that manifestation is not just magic. It's not you just saying today, this is what I want, and then tomorrow it shows up on your doorstep. You have to get in alignment with that thing that you desire. So again, you can't say you want one thing, but then your thoughts, your words, and your actions are telling the universe, spirit, God, something totally different. You can't say, I want a healthy, happy relationship, say that out of your mouth, but then your actions say, I'm willing to settle for less than I deserve and really less than I even desire. You can't say, I want financial freedom, but then your actions are frivolous and foolish. That's not in alignment. So you have to enhance your skills and start taking action towards the goal so that you can actually get in alignment. Again, becoming the person, doing the things worthy of what you say that you want. So number one, you got to believe that you're worthy of it. Number two, you got to enhance your skills and start taking action toward it. Number three, you have to trust that God will provide every step of the way. Now, I'm a control freak just like you, okay? I want to know every single step that it's going to take. I want all of the pieces of the puzzle so I can start mapping it out and laying it out and coming up with a formula and trying to figure it out. But you have to learn how to get out of God's business. Your job is not to know how it's going to happen. Your job is to know what you want to happen, which takes me back to the beginning, right? It's no point in betting on yourself if you don't know what you're betting on, if you don't know what you're working towards, if you don't know what it is that you actually want, if there's no intention, right? You haven't set an intention for what you actually desire. So once you figure that out, you have to trust that once you start taking action, God is going to match you. Okay, you got to give God something to work with. But once you start taking that action, you have to trust that he's willing to step in. He's willing to show you the next steps. You just got to take the first one. I think it's an MLK quote that's like, you don't have to see the entire staircase to take the first step. All you got to do, all God is asking you to do is take that first step. Show me that you are willing to do what I'm asking you to do. Show me that you're willing to be obedient even when you don't know how this is going to play out. Trust in me, and I'll take you where you need to go. So number three, you got to trust that God will provide every step of the way. And last but not least, on this journey of you betting on yourself, you have to, non-negotiable, you have to surround yourself with people who will push you towards your purpose. You got to get them squares up out your circle. Okay, elevation is going to require separation. It's going to require you to separate from all of the people who are insisting on staying stuck in their circumstances. Because if they're willing and able and excited and ready to stay stuck, 9 times out of 10, they're going to want you to stay stuck too. Because as you continue to elevate and evolve, it's going to seem like you're outgrowing them. And nobody wants to feel like they're being outgrown. Nobody wants to feel like they're being left behind. And so what are they going to do? They're going to try to pull at your coattail with their doubts and their fears and their comments and their hate around what it is that you're being called to do because they don't want to get left behind. Your goals and your dreams are going to seem so big to small-minded people. So you have to start surrounding yourself with people who support you, with people who believe in you, with people who, even if they can't see the vision, even if they're confused, they understand that you're following your calling. Okay? They're not going to try to convince you that this isn't the right time. Right? Wait and do it later. Let's do this instead. So you got to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to trust and believe that there is some mission that God brought you here to live out. There is some message that you are meant to share. There are people right now who are suffering and struggling because you have not taken the step to do the things that you are being called to do. So I just want to encourage you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you to go out and live the life, become the woman that you were born to be, so that you can truly design your destiny. All bets are on you, baby. If I'm a bet on anything, and I don't gamble because I don't like to lose no money, but if I'm going to bet on anything, I'm going to bet on myself. I love you. See you on the next episode.